Moving on to North Africa, where Tunisia is heading to polls on the 6th of October. It will be the country's third presidential election since the Arab Spring protests. With virtually no competition, President Kais Saied is expected to hold on to power, while critics fear his growing authoritarian rule in a country that was once a beacon of hope and democracy in the Arab world. Now, over 9 million voters are eligible to vote in the Tunisian elections, but the voter turnout is expected to be fairly low in the presidential polls, just like the parliamentary and the local elections in the last 2 years. Tunisia's Electoral Commission has approved just 3 candidates in the upcoming polls. Now, these include the 66-year-old incumbent president, Kais Saied. Saied is an independent candidate who came to power in 2019 after the death of Tunisia's first democratically elected president, Beji Kais Saied. Now, then there is the 58-year-old left-wing nationalist, Zuhair Maghazou, and he belongs to the party Eshab movement. He is widely regarded as a paper candidate who is supportive of President Saied. Now, lastly, 47-year-old liberal candidate Ayachi Zamal of the Azemoun party. Just days before the polls, Zamal was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He received 2 more prison sentences earlier, one for 20 months and another for 6 months. He has been accused of falsifying paperwork relating to his candidacy. He says the charges against him are false and politically motivated. At least 14 presidential hopefuls were barred from joining the race this year. Election organizers ruled that they had failed to provide enough signatures of endorsement, among other technicalities. Not just this, but the Tunisian Electoral Board also barred observers to monitor the vote, alleging that they received suspicious foreign funds. These watchdogs have been monitoring Tunisian elections for fraud since the 2011 Arab Spring uprising that ousted the former dictator Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. Now, the Arab Spring protests started with the Tunisian Revolution, sparked by anger against the country's social, political and economic situation. These protests then spread to the entire Arab world and also saw the ouster of the authoritarian leaders in Egypt, Yemen and Libya. Tunisia's transition to democracy was hailed as successful, but Kais Saied's rule in the last 5 years has brought back fears of Tunisia returning to the pre-revolution era. Saied, a former law professor who had no political or campaigning experience, was elected on a ticket to end corruption and promote equity. He largely gained support from young voters, but many of the Tunisian youth are now protesting against him. They are rejecting his policies that are drifting Tunisia away from democracy.
I don't consider this an election at all. There is no election, just an endorsement, a mere endorsement for a person who holds all the powers and can do whatever he wants in the country and change the laws as he pleases.
In 2021, Saied abruptly dismissed the Prime Minister, suspended Parliament and bypassed most of the Constitution so that he could rule by decree. In 2022, the country adopted a new constitution in a referendum that was marred by strikingly low turnout. Now, the new constitution has significantly enhanced the president's powers and weakened various checks and balances. Since then, Saied has been accused of using legal manipulation and other tactics to further restrict individual liberties and silence opponents. Analysts have described him as someone who sees himself as a man on divine mission and does not believe in the role of intermediaries between the people and himself. Tunisia's economy is also not doing well under Saied. The country remains under huge debt. The GDP grew only 0.4% last year. With Saied's return almost certain, will Tunisia once again become an inspiration for a positive change, or will it struggle for democracy to continue?
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.